Odin, let's just clear the air real fast so we can get to the regular show. Like, people think you and I hate each other. People think
I shout you out almost every video.
I know. Like, people don't understand. If I may be so bold as to say this, Odin, you and I are alma mater brothers.
Yep.
We are brothers in Christ. We are brothers from high school. We are brothers from New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
And like, even though you and I disagree sometimes on like how we calculate metrics, I'm like that people seem to think that, well, you hate Odin and Odin hates you. I'm like, I've been a channel member of Odin's for over 2 years. So Odin, welcome for the first time ever. You and I have been trying to line this up for a while. I'm so glad you're here. We're about to talk Indiana Jones 5 because this thing is a dumpster fire.
I can't wait. I cannot wait.
So Odin, you have the floor right now, bro.
Yeah.
Give me your thoughts on this movie.
Oh, well, first I just want to say that, I'm glad we already cleared the air with that because, it's Math Wars. That's I guess people thought it was Math Wars, It's like,
yes, Math
Wars.
Well,
he used a 2.5 multiplier and he uses another one, so they must hate each other. Yeah, sure. Oh, I'm loving this, though, man. I'm loving it because, and it's so funny to watch and read these articles, as I know that like reading the headlines that Deadline puts out there and the crap that they come up with. Did you see, I call him Tony, but Anthony D'Alessandro?
Yes.
Tony the other day, he was like, I had to pop an Alka-Seltzer because someone mentioned that it might make only 55 million. I'm like, what?
Exactly. The copium is like going full out right now this weekend, Odin. I mean, like full out.
They have no defense.
You cover this.
Point.
I cover this. And here's the thing. Even though sometimes we calculate numbers differently, I would say, I don't want to be so bold, but if I may, and you correct me if I'm wrong, I think this weekend, you and I are in full unmitigated agreement that this Indiana Jones movie is a complete trash fire.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
It could be the biggest flop of recent memory, if not of all time.
Let's hit this up. Here we go, folks. We're getting into this.
Valliant, as you do.
Yeah. So look, here we are with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. $60 million is the estimate right now. D'Alessandro, Deadline, even Variety Magazine, by the way, let me pull this up. Let me show y'all how stupid this is right now. We've got, wrong window. We have that. We have this. We have Variety. We have THR. This is cursed with a $60 million opening. This is so bad. The Hollywood
always
media,
count on Pam to be truthful.
The Hollywood media right now is absolutely taking a dump on this movie. There's no other way around this, Odin. This is where we are. So you and I together, the box office aficionados here on YouTube, you with Geeks and Gamers, give me your thoughts. What is going on with this film right now, Odin?
I mean, it is just an unmitigated disaster. I mean, there's really no other way of putting it. I mean, this film, the budget alone already put this movie having to do quite a bit of lifting in order to do anything that would have made anyone think that had any chance of making any money. And at $300 million, and I know that like the one thing that we typically do disagree on, that we fight over, that we hate each other over, is a typical marketing cost.
I hate you.
I know, right? But we're talking about a movie. I think that we could both say, what do you think that break even for this movie is between 750 and 900, somewhere in that range?
Oh, I'd go with that.
Closer to 900.
My break even at this point, considering how and this was the thing, the Deadline article, the video I did this morning with the D'Alessandro Deadline article showed that they had only spent $100 million on P&A, and I'm like, what in the holy hell? That tells me that the rumors, Odin, that we had heard, and when I say we, I mean me, Pro, Jonas, the folks out there, that after Cannes, that there was a fight internally in Disney between like Alan Bergman and Lucasfilm, with Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm now pointing the fingers,
and Dana Walden
and
taking
Dana
Lucasfilm
Walden
side. Yeah.
Absolutely, Pro. We're getting there. With them pointing the finger and saying marketing screwed the pooch on this one. And of course, Alan Bergman and his faction going, no, you made a crap movie. It looks like Odin, with a $330 million estimated spend to produce this film, as per Deadline, would you agree with me that at least The marketing spend for this film should have been, under all normal circumstances, at least 150 million.
Oh yeah, more than that, right? Because I go by the 1.5 standard, so at least 150 for a 300 million. But at 330, yeah, you're spending a lot more even than 150. It's just.
So let me ask you guys a question.
Exactly.
So this is something that's coming to me from
me, and I don't know. I'm kidding.
So this is a question that I'm getting a lot today. People are wanting to know: does that marketing spend that we've been told, does that include the premieres, or are those separate? Because the way it's worded, it's not clear.
That's supposed to be baked in. I mean, all marketing costs in general, if a movie allocates a budget from the distribution wing of the studio, and again, I want to segregate the fact that this is a Disney-owned property, right? So we're not talking about where, a Skydance makes a movie and hires Paramount to be a distributor. This is a wholly owned Disney property. So when they do distribution costs, it should absolutely include, on the marketing side, the global P&A, what they have spent on a Cannes Film Festival multi-million-dollar premiere. Same thing in LA. That should all be baked in the cost. So when they say they spent $100 million, and that's what I said in the video this morning, 5 to 10 million of that. I mean, I know it sounds crazy, but 5 to 10 million of that could be easily baked in for those like super high-end premieres. Pauly Latino Slant, Chris Gore, who was invited tonight. Chris couldn't make it. He's traveling. He's going home with the family. There's a lot of people that wanted to come into the show tonight, but were on the road. Chris even said, look, this is all the expenses that Disney put into this from a marketing standpoint for the premieres were off the chart. The question becomes, as we get deeper into the show, and it seems almost unavoidable right now, is that did the Walt Disney Company, did Alan Bergman, after seeing what happened at Cannes, who lifted the embargo? Who lifted the embargo at Cannes to put the reviews out right after the fact? That had to be known to sink this film. Who lifted the embargoes? Who made that decision? And did that decision, in my opinion, I think it did that decision have a demonstrable impact on the Walt Disney Company to pull the marketing budget largely from this film after that came out? I can't see otherwise how Disney would have only spent, with these massive premieres, $100 million marketing this film. This is a dumpster fire.
Just to be clear to anyone who isn't following this situation as closely as we all are, the folks at Deadline included in their article about this how they wined and dined with Harrison Ford and Bob Iger and Kathleen Kennedy until 1 or 2 in the morning. Massive amounts of food and drink just to keep people really happy.
They got these people drunk, like straight drunk, with an open bar, according to Chris Gore, according to Latino Slant, our buddy out there, Pauly, according to many people. They got these people slap drunk before the movie started in Los Angeles to get them to go in there before they watched it to put out. Everybody's wondering, how the hell is the Rotten Tomatoes score up where it is right now? That's why.
And it's still bad. And it's still bad.
Yeah.
It's still bad.
That's what's amazing. Even after all of that, even after getting them plastered drunk and all this, they still didn't get the reviews that they would have really needed to actually make it look even passable at this point.
Yes.
Gosh.
This is bonkers. This is absolute bonkers. And this is where we are right now with this, with places like the Hollywood Reporter, with Variety, with Deadline. All of them are walking away from this film. Like, we don't want to get the stank of this film on us. We have no choice but to give this an honest review. We have no choice at this point but to tell folks out there that this is bad. And like I said, Odin, before you joined us, and this was my issue from the financial side, from the business side, from the Wall Street side, is that I said that by noon tomorrow, we are going to have a plethora, El Wapo, a plethora. What is a plethora? A plethora. We are going to have a plethora of articles out there in the financial trades that are calling this out. There have been downgrades with Disney on Wall Street in the past week by places like KeyBank, and I have predicted that is nothing more than a harbinger of things to come. This is where we are. And guess what, folks? The Associated Press, the first article retweeted and reposted by Yahoo Finance. Here we are. It's already coming to fruition. I told you this was happening. This is a microcosm of what is to come.